Hi, it's another time again to continue with the business of the day. I remain your aspiring footwear professor. If you're following us for the first time, do well to subscribe to this very channel and also click on the notification button to get notification about our content. A little review of what we've done. We're able to tape our last and we want to get what we call our main form that will enable us to get the other patterns of the shoe we are making. So from the previous class, we have our measurements for the back height, we have our measurement for the total last length, and we also have the measurement for the counterpoint as well as for the instep. So we're now taking the measurement for the back height to know where our back height is and our counterpoint, which is the first thing we'll do as we continue in the process. 20 millimeter below from the top downward is the instep, so we'll mark that very position with the allowance of 20 millimeter. Mind you, the instep can vary based on the kind of shoe you'll be making. If you're making a casual shoe, the instep does not necessarily mean it must be 20 millimeters. Some can even go beyond 20 millimeter because the instep will determine the tongue that you'll be using for the casual shoe. So casual shoe have a very flat, small tongue, while others have a longer tongue. In this case, let us get the git point. Getting the git point is very, very important. Just take a look at this line here. It's a tangent you get for the insole. Look at the picture above and see how it looks like. We can achieve that by using our ruler, or we use a horizontal surface of either the table or the edges of the table, so long it's a flat and a straight surface. This is how to get that. Though with the advancement of technology, you don't have to stress yourself trying to find the ball gate point of a last, as modern lasts now carry their gate point on it with a little sign on it, like a dot sign at the bottom of the last. You feel the texture like a dot. It shows that that is the gate point of the last. This very last also have it as well, but we have to know how to get it. When we have a last that does not have that, it's very, very key and very important. So this is how you get it. After getting our ball gate point, what we'll do now is to use our measuring tape, which will serve as a flexible ruler, and draw a straight line. Make sure it's flat and straight, tracing to the other end, from one end to the other of the gate point from the top. Draw the line as we continue with the process. Now let's divide our last into two by cutting out the measuring tape and peel it off. Place it on the paper for the next process of getting our main form. Also trim the masking tape from the feather edge as well. It's now time to peel it off. Be mindful of where you start your tipping while peeling it. If you don't peel it from where you start the tipping, you will find it difficult because the tip will be peeling off since it's a short kind of a tip. So now we'll place it on our paper. That's the outer part. Place it on the paper. Make sure you place it carefully in such a way that it will be flat on the surface. So you can use the help of either a flat ruler or anything just to make sure it's flat on the surface. You might have some wrinkles on it, but there's no problem. Just make sure it is flat on the paper. Do the same with the inner part of the masking tape. Remember to mark out your back height and both your instep on each part. As you can see, it's already labeled, but make sure you indicate them because you're making use of them. So we'll cut them out exact on the edge of the masking tape. Now this is a crucial part of our main form. We've gotten the two forms now, the outer and the inner part of the form. Now mark out your git point, mark out your instep, and mark out your back height. Don't forget to label your patterns. They are very important, so you won't mix up the sizes and the last code that you are using. Every last has its code, so it's very important to keep them for reference purpose. Now it's time to get our main form. First, we'll trace the outer part, or any as the case may be, but let's start with the outer part. Trace it on the paper. and mark out all the points you have. Now, picking the second one, make sure the back height where you marked is touching each other, and the highest point of the front part of the last, the tip, is touching each other as well. You see differences on the pattern. The outer part might be higher or smaller than the inner part. Check the point, the highest point in the front, make sure it's touching each other, and the back height as well, make sure they are touching each other. Then trace them out. You'll discover two separate lines having some spaces in between them. And don't forget to also mark out the ball gate point as well, just as you did with the first one. Mark out everything and as they are indicated. Now you have 2 points looking at each other in different direction. You can see the spacing in between the two. Sorry for the video quality. I only discovered that lately that the video was not at the best quality when I set it. So, but you can see the two separate lines. Now the next thing is to divide those lines with a dotted mark in between. Just make sure you divide it into two, just a little bit in between dotted line to create two lines. Anywhere there is no joint, anywhere is open, just divide it into two with a dot. That is your mean form you are creating. You are getting the median part of the last by doing that. Anywhere there is an opening, just divide it by two. There's an opening that's from the upper part, but not on the feather edge, just on the upper part and the back part. But that of the feather edge, the bottom here, just leave it like the way it is. Now connect those two ball gauge points together. You will discover that the ball gauge points are two. One is in the front and one is in the back. Connect them together and divide it by two as well. This is the position of the ball gauge point, the front part and the back part. The front part is at the front while the back part is at the back. So measure it and divide it by 2. Now we've gotten our center. Draw a straight line from the top to the bottom because the ball gauge points are equal at the top. Now you have our main vamp line. That is our vamp line from the ball gauge point. The next thing is to cut the median part of the last, which is those dotted lines that you've traced. Follow it carefully and cut it out. You can see there's a difference between what was on the outside and on the inside, and in between them there's another line. That is the mean form that we've just created so far. You mark out the counterpoint and also mark out the back height of the last. Don't forget also to mark the gauge point. That's the one you divided by 2, the center one. Mark it out as well. That is your mean form. This mean form, you can use it for every design that you have. Any design is simply your last copy, as it is called. It can be called the last copy. Yes, mark out the back height, the counterpoint, also the vamp line, as well as a instep if it warrants you to do that. This is how far we can go for today's class, so that for easier understanding. So don't forget as well to subscribe to our channel and follow us for more details. You can leave your comment in the comment section, and also you have any question, you ask your question. To those who are in the paid class, you can meet in the group and let's discuss what your challenges are. Don't forget, also label your last on the main form, the date if possible, so that you can have referencing on everything you do. As you can see, I have my last measurement and everything. See you next time.